Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott, and there is Dave, and we have finally hit the end of 2024. Where Dave and I go through every movie that we watched this past year, give a quick yay, nay, little bit about it, and move on. You can listen along. This is a quick reviews of everything for the year. So here we go. First one we did of 2024 is Girl Friday. Dude, Rosalind Russell, all day, every day, anytime. Phenomenal movie. Doesn't hurt that Cary Grant's in it. Absolutely adore his Girl Friday. Your thoughts?
Cary Grant, Rosalind Russell, Double Talk. Great movie.
Oh my God.
Highly recommend it. Absolutely. The next one was a play on the old style movies called Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, starring Steve Martin. Loved it. It was edited by one of the ladies who edited a lot of the old movies in the day and did.
That's right.
I believe it was Casablanca. I think she edited.
I think you are correct,
if I remember correctly. And the edits are so crisp and so clean. If you're not paying attention, you'll think it was an old movie. Highly recommend it. Funny. One of my favorite Steve Martin movies ever.
This movie is made in the editing, and it's absolutely brilliant. Anytime you can edit a movie to make Bogey look like a lesser character, like a B character, it was great. It was great. It was great. After that, we rolled into the classic rom-com from Rob Reiner, When Harry Met Sally. Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan. Absolutely adore this movie. This is a good, fun date movie.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorite rom-coms. It's probably the first one that I can remember or knew of as a rom-com.
Yeah.
And just
it's one of
when I first love everything about it.
Yeah. Great movie.
The next movie we ran into was Roxanne, once again starring the great Steve Martin. It's Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yes, a nice play on the story. It's great.
Watch this movie if you want to see Steve Martin in a nice romantic lead.
I agree.
Funny. It's still very funny.
With one hell of a schnoz. So after this, we watched a movie where Dave introduced me to Myrna Loy and William Powell in The Thin Man. This is a duo that are just made for each other. The chemistry is off the charts. I will watch them in any movie, anytime. Just absolutely wonderful. Go check out The Thin Man.
I agree 110%. When I discovered the Thin Man movie series, I fell in love with both characters. They are just absolutely terrific. And from there, we went into one that you turned me on to, White Chicks.
Yes.
It's the two of the Wayans brothers, the younger brothers.
Yes, Marlon and Sean.
Thank you. I can never remember their names, but this is a movie that was asked to go watch 100 times, and I kept thinking, oh, I will eventually. Watched it, regret not watching it sooner. It was hysterical, and I do recommend that movie. I really do. It's a good movie.
Yeah, White Chicks is a classic for me. It's just absolutely over the top. It's so funny. Anytime you can take what I always find funny is characters that are so put in Terry Crews. That's the only way I can describe it. Big masculine man, but the way he acts and plays this character is just so beautiful. Love it. Can't recommend White Chicks enough. Then we took a ride back to the blaxploitation era with Foxy Brown, and I'm going to be honest, folks, I don't remember the plot of Foxy Brown. So Dave, tell us about Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown was just being Foxy Brown. She was getting out for revenge on the murder of her boyfriend.
That's right.
Yeah. And
the typical plot. I should have just guessed it.
Good movie, blaxploitation. I'm all about good blaxploitation movies. I've only seen one or two that I didn't care for, and I don't remember the names of them right away. We will eventually watch those movies, and then I will say, oh, yeah, I remember that movie. I didn't like it then either.
Yeah.
But just watch it. It's great. It's Foxy Brown. And then we went from there to Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. I I do remember this movie, and it was very funny. It was Jack Black and his sidekick. I can't think of that guy's name right off the bat. My mind just went blank, of course, because it always does.
Oh, Kyle Gass.
Thank you. They find the pick of destiny. They have to go steal it out of a museum. They have a duel with the devil. It's funny. It was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be,
Wasn't it?
and it almost tanked Jack Black as a writer of movies, and I think it did. Because he hasn't. I don't think he's written another movie since then, because
I
it didn't make a big budget. I mean, it didn't make a lot of
yeah.
money. And I watched this movie and I thought, I don't know what it was up against at the time. This movie is funny. It's
This movie's
and I'm not a
absolutely
huge Jack
hilarious.
Black fan, but this
No.
is a funny movie.
You I challenge you to watch this and not laugh. I find it absolutely
Exactly.
hilarious. It starts
Exactly.
off so damn funny and just does not take its foot off the gas. It's
Yeah, you're right. It
it's
just
it
keeps
just
going.
goes. It just goes. And speaking of just going,
Mhm.
dude, is this a Matt and Moorhead? Revenge of the
Yeah.
Zombies?
Matt and
Oh,
Moreland.
folks, you could not go wrong with Matt and
No,
More,
Moreland.
damn it. Help me out with his name. Matt and
Matt
Moreland?
Moreland.
Matt and Moreland. I wanted to call him Moorhead.
Moreland.
Manton Moreland. I cannot say it, but he was a phenomenal actor. Go look up his old stuff.
Underrated.
He's so funny.
And this movie shows you his timing and why Mo Howard wanted him as the third stooge
Absolutely.
after Shemp died. He's a genius. The guy was a genius, underrated genius. Absolutely. And the next movie up after that was It Happened One Night. It was Clark Gable and Colbert.
Yeah,
I
I
think
believe.
I want to say Juliet Colbert, if I
Yeah.
remember the first name. And it's
Yeah.
one of the first movies that was considered a rom-com, that was a meet cute. And it's the movie that introduced hitchhiking to the masses.
That's right.
Thumb. It's very cute. It's everything in a rom-com that you've seen 100 times. This is the first movie to use most of those cliches.
Yes.
They weren't cliches yet. None of it was cliches, but it all works. It's so good. You got just good looking Clark Gable. You got beautiful Colbert, and she shows him how to get a ride in a car without using your thumb.
It's
great.
it is great. And you're right. This is probably one of the first, if not the first, rom-coms, or it sets up a lot of the tropes that you will continue
Yeah.
to see and will
Yeah.
continue to be used. Great movie, had a lot of fun with it. And believe it or not, I really enjoy Think Fast, Mr. Moto, which was next.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Mr. Moto. Oh, yes, yes. Peter Lorre. This is a fun character if you like
Yeah.
the Oriental detective genre, because pretty much I guess what you would call it.
As much as I do.
It's a
Yeah.
must see.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And I mean, he just swings and throws back and forth. And speaking of swinging, the
Swing.
pendulum is up next.
Yes,
You
it
did
is. Nice segue.
You did a nice segue, so I had to try.
You did it.
The pendulum, it's got Vincent Price. Watch it. Just go watch
That's-
it.
All I'm going to say is so far, every Vincent Price movie that we have watched, Vincent is always hooked up with the worst woman possible.
Oh yeah, every time.
Every time trying to kill him.
He was married to the same woman in real life until the day he died, or until
But in the movies, oh
but
my
in
God.
the movies, he's got no luck with women.
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness,
I'm with
that's
Dave. It's got Vincent Price, and I absolutely love Vincent. We'll
Yeah.
watch him or listen to him anywhere. It's just,
Yep.
it's really cool. Then we went into the 20s for Metropolis, Fritz Lang's Metropolis.
Yep.
Folks, I know you've seen imagery from this. Nothing can really prepare you to how wild this movie actually is and the story that it tells, which is sadly relevant. So
Very.
still 100 years later, this movie still says the same message and we haven't learned a damn thing.
Yeah.
I love this. This is a great movie.
This is a movie that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. because most people say it's a classic, go watch it. This is a classic, go watch it. Honestly, it is
Yeah,
so
it
good.
so much comes from it.
Yeah. And from there we went to another another Powell movie, My
Exactly.
Man Godfrey,
Yes.
which is very fun, set during the Depression. William
I
Powell
love
is
this movie.
a man who's lost his fortune or walked away from his fortune, and he goes and helps another very rich family that is in the middle of losing their fortune, but nobody knows it except the father. And you just, this is such a lovely movie. It's such a romantic movie. It's so stupid romantic too. It's such a
Yes.
but it's William
But it's
Powell, and
great.
he plays the guy. He just plays the guy. He's the guy that everybody really wants to be. Everybody's like, James Bond. No, I want to be William Powell in My Man Godfrey or The Thin Man. That's who I want to be. That's who I want to be when I grow up. I want to be Dean Martin, really.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's just it. William Powell was a phenomenal actor and had such a great
Oh, yeah.
screen presence and delivery. And this movie is if you've ever seen Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, you
Yep.
might wonder where they got some of their ideas. No, this isn't a comedy at that level or that type
No.
of comedy or story, but it's very similar of what goes on in here. A lot of the setups, everything is really cool,
Mhm.
well done, and my God, right back to Vincent Price and the House on Haunted Hill.
We love Vincent Price, man. And this is another one.
Absolutely.
It was supposed to be, I believe this was in 3D back in the day.
I don't
And
remember if this one was, but
there are some shots that, the skeleton comes at you and
yeah.
it's like right
Oh
at the
yeah, this
camera. There'll
was.
be
You're right. They're
and,
the skeletons dancing
yeah. And I'll tell you, it is so corny, but it's the story itself is really
yes.
good. So
Yeah, it
yeah,
makes up
it's
for it. It's
Vincent
very
Price.
corny.
Uh, We haven't come up against the bad movie yet. I haven't. I
Not
don't
with
think we
Vincent,
will
we
all
haven't.
year. So watch this movie. It is a good,
Yeah.
good movie. House on Haunted Hill, 1954,
I
55, I
have
believe.
no idea.
I think that was sometime in the 50s. Go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then from
absolutely.
there, we went from the Haunted Hill up to the wilds of, what is that, Transylvania with
Yeah.
the Wolfman. Yep, it
This
was
is
the
a good one.
Wolfman.
It was a Wolfman. It's
It's
it's the
the
classic.
it's the
It's
first one with the Chan
Lon Chaney.
Lon Chaney. Thank you, Lon
Or
Chaney
is it Lon
Jr.
Chaney Jr.? Yes.
as the Wolfman. There are some issues with how he treats women, but I think he's just dumb and doesn't know how to talk to women the right way. And when he does realize how he's coming across, he is apologetic. So even in the 50s or 40s when this movie was made, there was somebody out there going, if you really talk to a woman like that,
Yeah.
you ain't getting anywhere. Uh, but that was just a little like one scene that he's just goofy in.
Yeah.
But it worked. It worked. It made the girl look at him in a completely different way.
Yes,
But this
absolutely.
movie, yeah, the transformation, the early special effects in this,
Yes.
just watch it for the special effects if you don't
This
stay for the
is
movie.
this is Universal classic
Yeah,
monsters. This is where it all began with
yeah.
these type of movies, and this is definitely a must watch. I know you
Mm-hmm.
guys. I say that a lot. I do mean that. If you're a fan of movies, you really need to go back and take a look to see where they
Yeah.
began. And yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds crazy, but trust me, when you dig back deep in, see it, and you see how it's influenced what we watch today, you make a new connection to it, and it's absolutely really cool.
Yeah.
This was a nice surprise. Dr. Sin, alias the Scarecrow. Is this a
Yeah. Yeah.
Disney TV miniseries or something? Is that correct?
They made it into a mini series, but it was released at the theaters in
Released at the
Britain
theaters.
and
This
I think a limited release in America.
this is a fun tale. I
Yeah.
enjoyed this movie. This is like a Robin Hood tale, not necessarily a Robin Hood tale, but kind of that vein of a folk
Yeah.
hero, Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it was
It's
good.
the costuming in this movie
Oh,
alone
dude, forgot
is
about that.
is worth watching it for the time period. So yeah, if you like a good story, and this is a good story. This is the Scarecrow is scary. He's a scary dude. And it
Yes.
works perfectly. It's such a good movie. And he was what's the word I'm looking for? He was public enemy number one of
Yes.
yeah, that was a good one. That was a
That was
good
a good
segue
one.
of the British. And just like James Cagney was public enemy.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
this I think it was his first gangster movie, if I'm not mistaken. Public Enemy was. And it has so many good plot points and good story lines that run through it. It Cagney doesn't get enough credit for his acting ability. And I just can't praise him enough.
Yeah,
I will
I
watch
can't either.
anything with Cagney in it. That
Right
just
there with
go
you.
watch this movie.
And we've ended up watching quite a few Cagneys this year.
Yeah, yeah.
But Public Enemy, this is a great gangster movie.
Mhm.
Again, watch this and then go watch your favorite gangster movie from whatever era and tell me you don't
Yeah.
see the seeds in here, like you also will in the Roaring Twenties.
Yeah.
Yes, here we go again,
Yep.
more Cagney.
Yeah. Another gangster.
This is Prohibition time. Again, a
Mhm.
lot of these movies take place during that. This is a good gangster movie.
Yeah.
It's great character development. You actually, in this movie, I actually became sympathetic to the main character. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was well done. Public Enemy, not so much. He's quite a jerk
Yeah.
asshole in that one, but this one absolutely was a good
And
one.
Bogey is his this is when Bogey was still playing a bad guy
Yeah,
before he became the good guy. So Bogey is in this movie.
forgot about that.
And wow, it is to see the dynamic against those two is amazing. Uh Creature from the Black Lagoon, another Universal
Universal
monster.
classic. Yeah.
This one I always find hard. I find this one almost as hard to watch as King Kong for me.
Yeah.
Because it is tragic. Even though it leaves you at the end, you're not sure, what happens, but it's still for me, it's just like, fucking humans.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. And
know? Pardon the
that's,
expression. I know I haven't sworn this whole thing, I don't think yet.
yeah, there went. But yeah, I
Oops.
agree. Creature from the Black Lagoon, beautifully shot movie. So well done. The costuming, the suit that was made is absolutely phenomenal. And the actor or actors, I don't know how many people were in the
I think
suit
there's
for
two.
this,
I think there's two. One
did
swimming
a
and one on land.
yes, you're right. And the way they both did brought life to this character is definitely a good study for anybody who does creature work. But,
Yep.
we just couldn't stay away from James Cagney and we would go into
No.
Yankee Doodle Dandy, the musical.
Yep. It gives you
This
all
is
the feels to be an American.
it's a fun movie. And
All of it.
also it's got a lot of history in it. And so it's neat to see. It's if you like musicals and you like Cagney, I say you have to see this.
This is the movie that I would recommend to anybody to show you how talented James Cagney really was. That's it. He's
Phenomenal. He
so
floats.
he just yes. He doesn't even his toes don't even touch the ground
I
half
know.
the time when he's dancing. It's
It does.
amazing. And then we go from this classic, this beautiful chef's kiss classic to Killer Tomatoes. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Yeah.
which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Love, love, love this movie.
I know why it's a cult classic now. This is one of those movies that I never had any want to really see, I don't think. Everybody said it's funny. Everybody said, "Oh, you got to see it." I had no idea what really to expect. If you like if you like dumb humor, this has got dumb humor in it and it's funny, it's stupid, it's pointless. Watch it.
It is. It's okay. So like Dave, I looked at this movie. It's like no way. And even as a kid, I had a good friend who would always sing the song, and
Yeah.
it was because there was even a Saturday morning cartoon of Attack of the Killer
Yeah.
Tomatoes, and I never watched any of it. I had no desire. I thought, what kind of stupid stuff is that? We watched this. I laughed my ass off. You will too. It's really good. The next one, Battle Beyond the Stars, is that what that says?
Yeah,
Yes.
Battle Beyond the
Battle
Stars.
Beyond the Stars has it was a movie. Uh,
Was a movie, had space stuff in it.
had space stuff in it. I don't remember much. Sybil Danning,
Sybil Danning with the
where she
jumpers.
couldn't breathe. Yeah,
Poor
that I
thing. I mean, you
remember.
feel bad for her when you find
I
out
know.
how bad she really
What
couldn't be. I don't
she
know how
really
that thing
couldn't.
stayed on. She
I
was
don't
in
either.
that tight-fitting costume. I have no idea how she stayed on. John Boy Walton was in this one.
Oh, I
Um,
forgot. See, I forgot. I tried to erase
yeah,
this one, I guess. That's not a horrible movie, but
it should have been better. I feel like they were really onto something, and I think if they would have had more time, they probably could have had a much better movie. I don't absolutely hate this movie. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think Sybil Danning
yeah,
saved
you're probably right. You're probably right. You're probably right.
it. And if you go from that, then you go from that kind of movie, holy cow, to another bad movie, in my opinion, Ice Pirates. I, it should have been good. It should have been a good movie. It wasn't. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and that's fair.
that's all
I
I
requ
got.
I requested this movie because when I saw this, how whenever it came out a
Right.
long freaking time ago, I thought it was so funny. Obviously, my tastes have changed. I did not enjoy this nearly as much as I did as a teenager. Let me put it
Oh,
that way. So yeah, it's
yeah.
just
Like I
it.
just felt like the jokes fell flat.
They
And I
did.
understand. I mean, the lady who played Morticia Adams is in this.
Angelica
Um,
Houston, yes.
Angelica Houston, and that it's worth to watch her in plaid and
Yeah.
leather. I mean, as a pirate chick,
There's
she
some
should have had a
funny
bigger
moments,
part in
but
the movie.
it could have been a better movie.
It was supposed to be. When you read up on it, folks, you find out why it got destroyed in committee. In
Yeah,
committee.
yeah, absolutely. Isn't that horrible? Go listen to our podcast on that. The
Yeah.
next one, though, is a nice surprise. I absolutely love Logan's Run, a nice dystopian future
Ah,
tale.
yeah.
I mean, what that just warms the cockles of my heart. No,
Yeah.
this is a great sci-fi classic for a reason, folks. People
Mhm.
put it on their list as great movies for a reason. You really should
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah. It's probably one of my favorite. It is up there as one of my favorite movies. I can't help. I can't help but watch it well, every year. Probably I watch it at least once a year for God only knows how many years. Then we go from that to where it has kind of a happy ending to Soylent Green.
Oh,
Yeah, Soylent Green. Speaking of how things seem to be trying to be a self-perpetuating
prophecy.
prophecy, uh, let's not go that way. It's weird.
No, because
But
Soylent Green is people.
the movie is fantastic. The
Yeah.
I love this again is one of another one of my favorite sci-fi classic movies. It is just that last scene is worth the watch.
Oh, it is.
It's a
It
good movie.
is. It really is. This is a great movie with another cautionary tale that we as humans tend to ignore every
Yeah.
damn time. Good movie. Didn't realize we were in the middle of a Charlton Heston block because we went on
No.
to Planet of the Apes.
Ah,
Whoa. Oh, phenomenal costuming, phenomenal actors. I can't say enough good things about Planet of the Apes.
nope. I love this movie. I love this movie. I love this movie. I do not appreciate the remakes as much as some people do, and I do want to see this very last one that was made that
Mm,
has the girl in it.
yeah.
Uh, uh, I want to say Luna, but Nova. The character of Nova is in the new
Oh,
movie,
okay.
so I want to see what's going on.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do the next movie where Charlton Heston's character
They're
crashes on Earth.
tying it up. Oh,
Yeah, and they tie it all together, which I
that would be
think would be
amazing.
really cool. But we'll find out. We'll find out if that's the kind of thing that they're doing or not. But me, for my money, the original Planet of the Apes series, this first one, freaking home run all the way. I just loved it.
Yeah.
From there, we went to another Charlton Heston movie,
Shocking. Yeah.
The Omega Man.
The Omega Man.
I love it.
Yeah.
The sets could have been better. I understand why they're not, but short of that, I mean, that was just a money budgetary thing. this is
Hmm.
a movie. This is a great end time
It is.
movie. And
It
then
is.
it also, again, has hope at the end of the movie.
It does. The only thing I will say that I really disliked about this, and it was just the music. It really took me out of the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
But this is a well done movie. It is definitely really a must watch, folks.
Another must watch.
But for me, this is always a must watch. If you put the name John Carpenter on anything, I'm
Right.
watching Assault on Precinct 13. Man, what a
Ah,
bad first day on the job.
that poor
Brother
cop,
had
man.
a shit day, man.
I'm not supposed to be here today.
Oh
It
my
wasn't even his
God.
spot to go to. They sent them there.
Dude, one of the first movies I've seen where they killed a kid, and it's shocking.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
Yes.
Terrible.
Great movie. Must see.
First first appearance of the Snake Plissken character, in my opinion. I
Absolutely. I
think that's
forget
who
the
the guy was
character's name in
supposed to
here.
be.
I think so.
I
We
think that's
talk
who
about
that
that in our
character
review.
who became. Yeah, watch our review on this one. It's a very, very interesting movie, very good movie. I I personally loved it. And the next movie is The Lost Boys. Watch it. It's another, I swear,
Yeah.
I am really
We
shocked
didn't
at how
watch a
many
lot of.
movies that we actually liked this year. I mean, I see a few coming that this our way that aren't, but for the
Well, we'll
most part,
see.
we watched
We,
a lot of good movies this year.
yeah, Lost Boys, great soundtrack, well cast, well played.
Yeah.
It's a classic for a reason, and it's not just because it has shirtless sax guy in it. But that brings us to back to the Oriental Detective series with
Yeah.
Mr. Moto's Gamble.
Is
This one takes place in a boxing match and betting, and it's another
yeah,
intriguing
it's the one where
mystery
the
that
gun is this the one where the gun is set up?
I believe, yes, where the gun is set
Yeah.
up the bell and it's well done.
I think this was the one that was originally written to be a Charlie Chan film,
I
and
think you're
they
right.
made it into a Mr. Moto film instead. And I think it works either way.
It
But
does.
to have Mr. Moto there taking care of Charlie Chan's son, classic,
It tied it
classic move,
together.
classic move, putting them all in the same universe. I love it. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Then we go to Mr. Wong Detective. And this is Boris Karloff playing the Chinese detective. And Boris Karloff just said, screw it, I'm Boris Karloff, and I'm going to use my own voice. He doesn't do an accent. He doesn't even try. He's just Boris Karloff in very little Chinese makeup, actually. And when you
Yeah.
really look at him, I think they maybe put his, like, brushed his hair down flat in the front.
Yeah,
And I don't know whether they put any, maybe some eye makeup, but
they did.
nothing too thick.
This
Because
is
he just,
the
it's the way he holds himself in this is what makes him the Chinese detective.
out of the Chinese detective series that we've watched, because
Uh,
most of these are played by white men. Um, Boris is the one who uses the least amount of prosthetics and makeup and
right.
actually even accent and everything. He just,
Mhm.
as you said, he's Boris Karloff. This is a good detective story.
And he's actually a
What's
detective. You see him
Yes, he
detecting.
really is a detective. Yes.
Like,
And
like-
this one I really enjoyed. Boris
yeah.
Karloff was a phenomenal actor, and he just brings so much life to something. It's just there's something about him in a role. But
Uh,
God bless Kevin Costner for his attempt at a saga of the Postman. He tried, and I say he failed. Folks, here's the first one of the year. You can definitely miss the Postman.
yeah,
Dave.
you don't need to see this. You and I did talk during our initial review that we think it could have been saved in editing, but we really were. It's almost like they didn't know where to go with the story. So an editor was probably would be just lost in there. Anyway, you have to know where your story's going in order for you to have a good editor that can pull it off.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can miss this one. And
you can.
it's got a lot of good in it. Yeah, because you and I did talk about a lot of good
There's
stuff,
good.
but
There's good.
you got to look
Miss it.
for it, man. And nobody should work that hard at a movie, at watching a movie.
Because it's like 3+ hours or something. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a hard
it's
one.
long. It's a
It's
hard one
long.
to
It
watch.
feels every inch of it.
Yeah,
Every inch
it
of it.
really, really does. And then if you don't have time for that, you got to go time after time.
Exactly.
Boop,
Ah,
boop, 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 boop. This is a great movie, time travel movie. Um, it's supposed to be
H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells. Thank you. I cannot
Yeah.
remember his name. I read the book. I knew the book.
Yeah.
Uh, H.G. Wells time traveling to the futuristic world of the 1970s, and he's looking for Jack the Ripper. This is a classic.
This is a fun movie. Fun
Yeah,
movie.
this is a must watch. This really is a good. If you like time travel movies, if you like suspense, how are they going to do this? How are they going to get out of that? This is a good movie to watch. It's
It is.
really
It
well
is.
done, well written, well acted, of course.
One of my favorite bits about this is Mary Steenburgen playing a
Yeah.
love interest of a time traveler for the
Mhm.
first time, which she will later reprise in Back to the Future 3.
And I think
Really
she
awesome.
actually uses one of the lines in this
I
movie
think you
in
we
Back to
talk
the
about that
Future,
that you
if I
are
remember
correct.
correctly. That's so funny.
Dude, so what we went into next, Dave suggested the Matt Helm series with the
Yes,
silencers.
I love
This is
I
fun.
love Dean Martin.
This is
So,
fun. This I was not
yeah,
expecting. I saw shades of Mike Myers, Doctor Evil, Austin Powers series
Austin
in this.
Powers,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
I see signs of that here, and it's like, oh wow, look at the fun movie, crazy spy,
Mhm.
slapstick humor,
Yeah,
great one liners.
all the way through it, all the way
Yeah,
through it. And it's funny, he as a super agent, he keeps getting saved by women. And it gets better and better throughout the series, like how he gets saved by these women. And he's supposed to be the great agent.
yeah.
It's so good. It's right up there with my man Flint, just it's so good. And then we went from silencers to Ghostbusters Frozen
Something
Kingdom.
current.
Something very current. I know it's not an old ass movie, but we both love Ghostbusters.
Mm.
We've seen all the Ghostbusters except for the one that doesn't exist. And I will not go see that one because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in my world.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm,
I'm gonna watch it one
I'm
day.
sorry.
One
Yeah.
day, I'm gonna watch it. I gotta check it out.
I'm going to poke my eye one day too.
Yeah,
One
but
day.
hey, one day. Yeah. So, what
But
was your take on
Frozen
Frozen
Kingdom,
Kingdom?
I like it. There are little things niddly piddly, whatever you want to call it, higgledy piggledy,
Yeah,
uh, that I maybe could have been taken out with no problem. I had I wanted to see Slimer. If you're going to put Slimer in the Ghostbuster hideout headquarters, they should have used them like they did in the cartoon. That's my
absolutely.
biggest complaint
I
of
agree.
this movie. Other than that, I liked it. I like the movie.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what they're going to do in the next one. I have no idea
I
where they're going.
I wonder. This is one I have mixed feelings about. It's a
Mhm.
good entry into the Ghostbusters. It's a good
Yeah.
continuation of the story. I didn't like it as much as Afterlife. I
No,
absolutely
no.
adored Afterlife. The first Ghostbusters and Afterlife to me are very, very high up there
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
that. This is a good entry. I tell you what really surprised me though was our
What's
next
that?
one of Abigail, another more current
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
a vampire movie that is just the tale of a young girl who just wants her dad. Didn't see it
Yeah.
coming. Beautiful flick.
There is so much. The movie on the surface is very surface.
It
When you
is,
look
but
just a little bit deeper, it is a tale of a little girl trying to get the attention of her father.
yeah,
Look what a good girl I am. Look what I'm doing
look
for
what I've
you.
done. Yeah,
That's what the whole movie is. And then she finds a friend. She finally finds a friend who is willing to actually help her. And the
yeah.
father threatens the friend. And she's like, no, no, you can't threaten this friend. I've already made a promise to this friend. You can't threaten her. And it's such a good story. And
Love
this
this
is one
movie.
that I've got in my queue. I'm going to order. I'm going to get the DVD. I got to. I got it. And then we went from Abigail to a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed when I first
Oh
saw
my
it.
God,
It
yes.
was on Project Greenlight. It's called Feast. I Gory, disgusting in a lot of ways, funny in a lot of
Inappropriate,
other
gory,
ways.
disgusting. It is everything a horror movie should be.
Exactly. And it's fun. And I,
That is the
yes,
number one thing. It's fun.
coming from a guy who's not a big horror fan and is not a big gory guy, Abigail and Feast are two musts. If you like,
Absolutely.
if you just like scary, kind of weird, creepy movies, they're good. I
Yeah,
love it.
they're
I
really
absolutely
good.
love it.
Feast is insane to me. I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun with this movie. It's got a lot of unexpected things. It's
Uh,
got a neat gimmick that runs
yeah.
throughout the movie, showing people's life expectancy and stuff. And it's really, really
Yeah.
freaking cool. It's real fun. It's real fun. And what's also real fun is 13 Ghosts, the
Yep.
original. I am a fan of the remake as well, but the
Uh,
original is really cool and runs pretty much. The remake is pretty much a remake of this for real.
really.
A fun, yeah, this is a fun one.
Yeah.
There's
I
another
this
3D
was a
movie.
this was a lot lighter than I was expecting. I honestly thought more I was expecting more melodrama. I wasn't expecting it to be really good, okay?
Mhm.
But I was expecting a lot more melodrama, and I didn't get that. I got like a weird, fun old movie that just unexpected. And it's fun. It's good. I like it to watch it. If you like old movies, I love old movies. I love old black and white movies. If you're not watching black and white movies, if you're not watching movies from the 50s and 60s and 40s and 30s and 20s, you are so you're
Missing
missing
out.
out on an entire history of the genre of motion pictures. I highly recommend to go in and start digging, looking. Go to your local libraries. I'm sure a lot of places have DVDs that you can rent or you can
Folks, there's so much on YouTube
check
alone
out.
and
Go to
so many free
YouTube.
TV services like
Yeah,
Tubi and etc.
go watch some of these movies. I highly recommend. I highly recommend this movie. 13 Ghosts was great. It was so funny. On points of it were very funny. The
Yeah.
Raven, Nevermore, Nevermore. Speak
Yeah.
quote The Raven, Nevermore. The Raven was another Vincent Price movie,
Yes, it was.
and
Another
it
Vincent
had
Price movie.
my dog just disappeared. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. While you look for your dog, I this is a Roger Corman movie. Do I need to
Yeah,
pause?
this is another Roger Corman
Yeah.
movie.
Roger Corman movie. Vincent Price. Now this one, folks, be prepared. Don't go in thinking it's serious. If you
Right.
think it's serious, you're going to be like me and say, "What the hell am I watching?" Until it clicked that it is meant to be this silly and funny, and it becomes
Yeah.
very enjoyable at that point. Once you realize you're watching a comedy, I don't know why I thought any different. It's all on me. But in case you do,
I should have warned you that it was humorous, and that's kind of on me because if you and I should have known going into a movie because I've done that where I've gone into a movie thinking it's going to be funny and it's not, and I'm like, I hate this movie. Why this isn't funny?
where's the fun?
And the other way where you think it's going to be serious and it's a comedy, and you're like, I don't like Starsky and Hutch. I hate the remake, the movie. I hate that movie.
Yeah,
I hate
I
it.
get it. I
I
get
don't
it.
ever
But
want to watch that movie.
for one brief moment, Dave and I went to local wrestling and decided to cut a podcast about it. So if you are a wrestling fan and just want to hear
Yeah.
about the local scene, definitely check this one out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Coastal Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
It's worth watching. The guy who runs the thing, his name is Marshall Briggs. He's the big bad guy. I love it. I absolutely love this. We've been going every month for what, about 6, 8, 7 months?
Yeah,
Nine
for a
months?
while now. Yeah,
For
for a while
almost a
now.
whole year now.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. It's so
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
big
So,
time wrestling at its best. And then we we went from big time wrestling to the life of Brian.
Life of Brian.
Brian, a boy the name of Brian. It's Monty Python. If you're a Monty Python fan, you are going to love this movie. I am a Monty Python fan. I
Yep.
love this movie.
And that's exactly correct. If you like Monty Python, you should have seen Life of Brian by now.
Right.
Definitely watch it. I'm not going to say if you're offended, don't watch, because if you're a Monty Python fan, you're not going to be offended by this. Bottom
Right.
line, this is a Monty
Right.
Python movie. Check it out. Funny as hell. And also
So
high
good.
anxiety. Mel Brooks. This is definitely a Mel Brooks movie. This has a few scenes where I'm in literal tears watching because it's so damn hilarious. I
Was
don't
this one of my suggestions?
This is one of your suggestions.
Okay. Yeah,
I
okay.
enjoyed this movie, but it's not on my higher list of Mel
Yeah.
Brooks
Yeah.
films, but it had some moments that had me in tears.
Yeah. Yeah. If you love Mel Brooks and you love the guy who did The Birds, my mind's going blank
Hitchcock.
again. Hitchcock. If you love Alfred Hitchcock movies, watch High Anxiety. You will love High Anxiety, or at least like it and be in tears like Scott was at a.
You will. There's some good stuff in here. Really
Oh my
good
gosh,
gags that
that is
really
so
hit.
funny. And then Kolchak, The Night Stalker.
Yes.
It's the old Darren McGavin.
Yes.
Darren
Yes.
McGavin movie. The guy who played the dad in A Christmas Story is Kolchak, the Night Stalker. He's a newsman. He's looking for a vampire in Las Vegas of all places. I mean, if you're gonna be a vampire, you can get lost in Vegas real quick.
Absolutely.
It's such a good movie. They did several of these movies before they made the series of Kolchak, the Night Stalker. I was terrified of these as a kid.
Oh,
They
really?
terrified me. Absolutely terrified me. And I loved them. I would wait, I'd stay up and watch them. And I remember being told to go to bed and kind of clump up the stairs, but not really, and just kind of
Yeah.
stick your head around the corner and watch oh, good stuff,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Classic.
I
Classic
really
stuff.
enjoyed Kolchak. That was a lot of fun. And folks, if you like a supernatural thriller, uh, detective
X-Files.
hunt, early X
Yeah.
Files, early supernatural. This is this is
Yeah.
absolutely in that vein. And then when you don't get any more 80s than The Toxic Avenger, straight from Trauma Films. Wow. I don't care
Yeah.
what anybody says. I love this movie. It's so much fun. It's 80s wrapped up in a
Yeah.
nice little toxic bow tie.
Trauma films are amazing. I I I would say watch trauma films. Just watch them. There's a whole bunch
Yes.
on Tubi right now. You said you had taken out a subscription for a
Yeah, they have
month.
a service with all their films, and then they also curate from independent filmmakers who make in
Yeah,
the Tromaville genre, basically, in
right.
that type of low budget make a movie. Lloyd
Do
Kaufman
you
is
want to
somebody to look up to. Absolutely.
you want to plug the movie you did?
Folks, I don't know. Well, it's on Troma.
It's on trauma.
It's called Evil Head Dead by Dong. And yes, you heard me say that right. Go check it out on Troma. It might be on YouTube somewhere. I don't know, but
It's worth a watch.
it's worth a watch. Forgot about that. Forgot
No, you
about that.
can't forget about that. Every time something like that comes up, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna put
Please
whatever
do.
movie
Please
we
do.
watch, we're gonna push it. We gotta do backwoods. We gotta do all that stuff, man. We gotta
Absolutely.
get them
Let's
all
do
in.
it.
And then we went from trauma. We went from a trauma film to Christmas in Connecticut.
Yes.
You know, you just don't get better and more romantic comedy than Christmas in Connecticut. I I love this movie. I'm not even gonna. It's just about a reporter. Well, actually, she's a magazine article writer of like home
Great
goods,
setup.
cooking and
Great
stuff.
setup.
And it's just all a misunderstanding. And
Well,
Stanwyck, Stanwyck is just beautiful in this,
yeah.
and I mean that not just physically, but as an actress, she's
Oh,
just so well rounded. Because she can play the serious part and then just be befuddled about how her life is being destroyed by not just herself and her own lie.
there's so many good characters in this. This is
Yeah,
a fun movie. This was a nice surprise. It's got a great setup,
yeah,
a
yeah.
great payoff. It's absolutely funny. It's really good. And then that brings me to one of my probably all-time favorite Christmas time movies is It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah.
This, folks, I don't have anything else to say. It's Jimmy Stewart. It is Christmas in your face. So
Have a tissue, and if your mind is set right when you're watching it, it could be life altering in a good way,
it absolutely could. It
in a positive way.
absolutely could. Do you have the list of the rest?
I do not. I do not
Okay,
have
so after It's a
next to are
Wonderful
yours. I don't see it.
after It's a Wonderful Life, we went and did what would be the setup for You've Got Mail, the shop around the corner. Jimmy Stewart again.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this movie. This is fun. This is fun. Those two going at it is just absolutely great.
It is. Yeah. You know what? I can't say anything except that it's a great movie. And the payoff for everybody in this movie is a happy ending.
It
Everybody
is.
has a happy ending except the wife and the one clerk. And they don't deserve happy endings.
No, they don't. They're getting their own happy endings, if you
That's
know what I
right.
mean.
They get
Nudge,
their
nudge,
own.
wink, wink.
But
Nudge.
boom.
Okay. Anyway, after that, we go to The Bishop's Wife. Oh, wow.
This
This
was
is
a
good.
pleasant surprise.
This is really good. This we just been hitting it out of the park this year, at least on the movies that we watched.
Yeah.
Very few stinkers. I
Yeah.
think we screwed up. So for the next year, we're definitely gonna have to try harder than The Bishop's Wife because
Oh
it was
yeah.
phenomenal.
This was one of those movies, again, I've heard about. You've heard about. I think this one was yours. I think you came up with a list
Yes.
and said, "How about we watch this?" I was like, "Sure, I've never seen it." Kick myself in the rear end for not seeing this movie. I really am.
Yes.
Um, yeah, Cary Grant, once again, just being Cary Grant.
Yes.
Being
Very.
and I'm as old as I am, and I'm looking at Cary Grant, and I'm like, so
Yeah.
jealous of this guy. I've never been jealous of an actor, but I'm jealous
I
of
get
Cary
it.
Grant and
This
Dean Martin.
The Bishop's Wife had a great message, and just like
Yeah.
most of these stories that we have watched have good messages,
Don't forget what's
including
important.
the next one, which was a surprise beyond my belief, was Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah,
I thought I was just going to get a good slapstick comedy. Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis.
right.
I
Right.
wasn't expecting the payoff at the end, and it was like, oh my God, you're so sweet. Love it.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to like this movie at all. I'll be honest with you. I've never
That's fair.
seen it. I never liked the trailers that I seen. I seen like
Yeah.
two or three different trailers, and I always looked at that and went, I have no want to see this movie. It just didn't look interesting to me. I think it was your suggestion,
Yeah, it was
and I
suggested by a
said
friend.
something to
Yeah.
Kat. I was like, he wants to watch Christmas of the Cranks. You want to watch it with me? I figured she'd say no. She had caught like the rear end of the movie. So she
Uh-huh.
knew kind of the movie. She didn't know all of it,
Oh,
but she knew kind of it. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna like this." I was like, "What?" She's like, "I don't know. I think you're gonna like this one." I was like, "I don't think so." And I went in grumpy. I don't what I'm not
I've
gonna
done
like
that.
this movie.
I've done that.
And
I
sure
ain't gonna like
enough,
this.
yeah, I'm not gonna like this movie. Well, I like this movie.
Yeah,
I do like this movie. There are little problems. If you look at our
sure.
review, there are problems with the movie. But I like it. I mean, you have
Hmm.
to basically ignore your problems with the movie. You have to just say, don't
Yeah,
care about those problems. I'm ignoring that. I'm going to enjoy the movie. And they're stupid little things. That's, to be honest with you.
yeah,
But yeah, I'll probably watch this again next year.
yeah. And then we wrapped it up with a double feature
A
of a
twofer.
Christmas Carol gone wrong and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh,
The original Boris Karloff
yeah,
Grinch, Chuck Jones animation. Go check out our review.
Boris
It's a
Karloff again.
holiday tradition for a reason.
Yeah,
Um,
Boris Karloff again.
yeah,
And
and then you turned me on to A Christmas Carol Gone Wrong, and this is a fun,
that's
fun.
funny.
It's a fun
It,
version, and it's still
it's literally,
it's
it's
it
literally going wrong.
it's going wrong. And here's the deal. Here's what I loved so much about this. Everything goes wrong. They set out to make a comedy, and you know it's by design. It still ended up being a wonderful version of the Christmas Carol.
Exactly. Exactly. And it works. It all works. And I
It
love it.
absolutely works. So, folks, that was it for Dave and I. We sat through a lot of good movies this year. So definitely check it
Yeah.
out. We promise to bring you some crap next year. I don't know. More House of a Thousand Cats or whatever the hell that damn movie was.
God, I hated that movie.
Oh, that and Star Wars Holiday
It.
Special have yet to be dethroned. So please send us your suggestions. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Thanks for spending a year with us. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.